A few years back, something really traumatic happened to our family. And what's crazy is it was a beautiful day. It happened around this time, actually, and it was a beautiful fall day out. At that time, it was just Sidra, Gia, and myself. The boys, I already took them home. But we were still relatively new to the house we're in right now. And so this is about 6 years ago. My wife said, hey, since we don't have as much room as we had in our old house, why don't we go get something that we can put on the wall to store our dishes because we don't really have that much space. There was one on sale at Walmart. So we're like, okay, let's go to Walmart. I pulled in and I parked about 10 spots away from the Walmart entrance. And I saw the cart that Gia loves. It's the one where the children can sit in the back part of the cart. But it was across the driving area in the cart corral. So I went across, got the cart. Gia gets out the van and she saw the car. And she's like, oh, daddy. And there were no cars coming. She takes off running, to come across, the driving area. This woman turned in real quick, picked up speed. She was going easily about 45, 50, and there was no time for any of us to react. I remember everything was in slow motion. I let go of the cart because I saw this car speeding, and I don't know how they couldn't have saw Gia. She was right there in the road. I took off after Gia, but I didn't make it in time. So the car struck Gia, and I mean like head on. Gia flips into the air. Her body just flails. Then her head strikes the windshield, and then she falls off into the ground. There were a lot of witnesses around, a lot of people, because, they were shopping. Sidra had just got out the van, but she saw what happened, and she just screams Gia's name. Everyone rushed over. The person that was driving got out of the vehicle, and people started yelling at the driver saying, why were you going so fast? The woman's answer to that was, there's no speed limit in the parking lot. So I was torn between helping my daughter and going and beating the crap out of this woman for this answer, because you could tell that she didn't care that she just struck a child. Well, somebody said, hey, don't worry about her. We'll call the police on this woman. We were blessed that there was a hospital right beside the Walmart. So we took Gia and got her in there and into the van and sped her to the ER. And I'm sorry I had to think about what I was saying because, when the emotions of that time are coming back as I reflect on it. Gia ended up having a broken leg, and she had a fracture from when her head hit the windshield of the vehicle. And the police officer came in to take the report, and he was angry. He was livid because he said the woman didn't seem like she really even cared, She seemed like she was wealthy, She had a really nice car, the way she was dressed. And I'm not saying wealthy people don't care, but she definitely didn't care. I don't know what her problem was. So after having Gia in the ER for I don't know how long, they finally let us take her home. Gia didn't sleep at all. We didn't sleep at all because Gia had nightmares. She cried the whole time. She was on medication, but it didn't help her sleep because she just kept crying. Every time she went to sleep, she'd wake up crying. But the one blessing about that situation is that Gia was little. So the doctor said that, she would heal up pretty quick, and which she did. And, we had family and friends that, came and visited Gia, and that was much appreciated. But like I said, it's just crazy how all that chaos happened that day. But it started off as a beautiful day.